All right, I just want to cover the last fuel cell symbol that I haven't really covered yet. I haven't really covered it because there's not too much to talk about. There's not any upside to really draw, forecast some targets or anything like that. So I do want to cover, what makes this chart interesting, and it really is that it undercut the all time lows here. I mean, you look at the history on this thing; it's been a rough history. Um, but it undercut the all-time lows, immediately started putting in volume, and then we got some real nice candles in the form of weekly higher lows the last couple of weeks. So maybe it's starting to do something, but you're coming into you're swimming upstream at this point. We got descending simple moving average 18, descending simple moving average 40, MACDs coming up to the zero line. There's a lot working against this, but there's a lot of volume. And then if you look at it on a quarterly standpoint, there's some room for some mean reversion. So that's kind of, if I'm trading this because I just found it off a screen or something like that, I guess what I'm saying is I wouldn't trade it. If this just came across my screener, I'd probably just say this thing's gonna need some time, and there's a good chance it's gonna need some time. But because I'm kind of covering this fuel cell narrative that I built in my head, I'm trading this a little more aggressively. I'm just looking to get in on shorter term time frames with pretty good entries, and then get a risk free or even a small loss stop, and then just try and play the mean reversion to get in control of the trade, and then we'll see. We'll see. If the bottom's in and this turns into something, or maybe not, right? Or maybe it'll just go lower. Certainly wouldn't even bother with all that nonsense, except for the volume just looks really, really nice here after this really, really nice undercut of the all-time low. So this one's interesting, but I mean, really, you're swimming upstream right now. So and not financial advice. Definitely you do you. This is a really tiny company. Yeah, it's a $270 million company. So this is risky stuff. So not financial advice, and please just make note. I'm looking at long term time frames here. So if if this thing starts trading on Monday and it's down, like let me go to the daily chart. If you the market opens on Monday and it's down 25%, I mean that would be pretty normal, right? That'd be pretty normal on this. So uh, definitely don't FOMO into this stuff. Definitely have a plan if you're gonna trade it. I normally wouldn't trade this other than I'm really interested in the sector, and the peers are starting to show strength. Of course, Bloom is showing a tremendous amount of strength. We can revisit those real quick. Bloom's just going crazy here. It's trying to come up to a 1.0 fib extension, which it's approaching quickly, but that in terms of price, that's still, I mean, that's almost a double from here, right? That'd be a yeah 90% gain from here, and it's already run tremendously. I wouldn't chase this thing. It's kind of either you got this higher low or you got this higher low and you're in with like stop losses, or you got to wait for a pullback. And in my mind, I mean, again, you do you. I can't say that enough, but I don't know how you play this unless it's like intraday, or maybe you can get like an hourly oversold at some point. It hasn't been hourly oversold in a very long time. Uh, Back in May, looks like it got. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed this one here. Still May. Yep, still May. Um, and it looks like it's still confirming. Look at this on the hourly, or look at this peak. This peak here took out this peak, which took out that peak. So this thing's still confirming on the hourly. We do have the bearish cross here, and but it doesn't look too bad. I mean, you put in a lower low in MACD, higher low in price, and that's a pretty good signal. I don't like all the space here, but this thing's just been strong. Just been a strong stock. Let's go check out the other ones. The other ones have been looking pretty good too, especially here this last week. Plug, yeah, um, still hasn't approached this 382, and that's been kind of how I've been handling both Plug and Ballard. Is I saw that they made these moves down without really a lot of price action, just mostly straight down. And so, I've been looking for shorter term entries to maybe try and play it up to 382, de-risk, and then maybe I got a low, maybe I didn't. We'll see what happens. I did something similar with FCEL, and I ended up hitting a first target. Then I came out, got my stop, and I either lost a little, made a little, or broke even. At the end of the day, it was just nothing. So that one came back and got me. Still in these ones here. I think I definitely risk free in Bloom. I've taken a target in Bloom, and I had big targets for that one, hoping that'll ride the Oracle hype. I can't remember if I've hit targets on these. I'd have to pull my spreadsheets up. But I'm in Plug, and I'm in Ballard. So we'll see what happens with those. And that pretty much does it. I don't know of any other pure plays. There are probably some out there. If I encounter some, I may cover them. But I'm gonna maybe cover something else. Gold miners are always fun. That's always been one of my most traded and invested sectors. But I feel like a lot of people talk about those, and maybe that's just the circles I'm in, right? Yeah, if you're invested in a certain circle, it seems like everyone's talking about it when maybe they're not actually, right? So, but anyway, that one feels pretty saturated, and those moves have started, right? I'm not saying there's not entries right now and there's not room to go, but those moves are well underway. I don't find those exciting to talk about. So I'm thinking maybe solar. I might cover some solar stuff. A lot of these alternative energy things are looking good. Obviously, uranium's looking good. I'm not gonna cover that. This is very popular. Just not interested in covering stuff that lots of other people are covering. But yeah, I mean, you can look at TAN, and TAN is pretty interesting. TAN is the solar ETF. It has kind of some of the same issues as um, the fuel cell, like Ballard and Plug, in that it didn't really just like impulse like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It actually did 3 waves, and then this one is overlapping with the original price action, which isn't ideal. But regardless, you got a nice long-term monthly chart here with a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high, and then you're trying to put in a higher low against this low, and maybe it could be some type of diagonal or something, Elliott wave diagonal. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert at Elliott wave. I like to just look at the motive structures, look at the ABCs, flat, zigzag, various flat formations, what have you, and that's good enough. When I have to start inventing WXY, Z, XZs, and stuff like that, my confidence goes down. Right? There's too much room for interpretation there, and if I have to like operate on an Elliott wave pattern that's not common, I'm not going to be confident in it, so it's going to make me not feel good about my trade. So I really just like the clean stuff where I can feel pretty confident about my count, and then enter accordingly. Otherwise, I'll just trade it, with a momentum approach, something like that, which is my primary school of trading anyway. But tan looks interesting. The pattern isn't ideal. Yeah, maybe it's like a 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't know. That'd be amazing, right? But I don't know. It's kind of weird looking. But I mean, there's volume. The volume's awesome. The volume's been good all the way down. Normally, I look for volume on the way up and then not much on the way down. But I'm kind of thinking, because um, this has gone on so long that there just might be a lot more interest in this symbol, since 2020, and so the volume's just there. The volume's just come into the ticker, and so it's almost like it's starting anew. Maybe I have no idea. I have no idea, but this is just interesting to me. One, I'm following a lot of alternative energy, and and two, lots of volume. So and it, nice long term pattern, right? Like maybe this thing just takes off. Be pretty cool. So I'll cover some of those coming up. I think that's what I'm going to cover. Might change my mind. I'm also a little bit into biotech. Man, biotech has been a tough area to trade. Probably one of my worst areas, if I'm being honest. But there's some interesting stuff going on. I like kind of the look of this arc G trying to turn. It's still way too early, right? Like the moving averages are all down. But the volume's been pretty cool, kind of similar, really, on how tan is showing volume. Um, I think it was it CRISPR. I think this one was looking pretty good. Yeah, it's still pointing down. I mean, on the monthly, I should have the weekly over here on the right. So it's trying to turn up on the weekly, but it's got work to do. But yeah, I mean, look at the volume on this thing. This is like gene editing or something like that. So could get pretty crazy. Moderna is another one. Oh, is that mRNA? I think. Yeah, Moderna is also interesting because it's just dumped. Right, we had tons of volume going up, and then this has had a more typical sell off here on low volume, and I don't know if it's hit the fib extension target on this ABC looking pattern. Take a look real quick. Might have a little bit to go. That looks pretty close there. Let's look at it over on this on the weekly. I didn't really intend to cover this, but yeah, so it's trading just above that, and it could just be my drawings. But I do see this happen sometimes where it trades just short of the target and then looks like it's going to reverse. And if you put a stop right under the low, it doesn't work. They end up taking it down to the target after they make it look like it's going to reverse or something like that. So a lot of work to do. This is extremely bearish, right? You'd be trading up into these moving averages, but you might be able to mean revert into it. I really would like to see it throw a wick or two down to this 1.0 extension. I might have to make sure I can use the magnet here and see how be a little more precise in my drawing here, just to see. Uh, yeah, yeah, it definitely is not quite hit it yet. So we'll see. This one's interesting though. The volume's starting to kick in right around where it should be. We could also check our retracement here. This looks pretty dang deep. I'm drawing this backwards. Bear with me. Reverse. There we go. And I don't really need these, but I would like to see maybe this one. Okay, yeah. So it's just under the 7.86 level. So anyway, yeah, this one looks pretty good. I think that's all I'm going to show for now. I may look for some more solar tickers, some more uh, biotech symbols, and eventually put something out here. Just my incentive for doing this, I spend a lot of time looking at charts, spend a lot of time trading. Uh, One of my favorite things to do. Don't really have a lot of people that are interested in it. Not a lot of social connections that are into trading. Definitely, I'm not well spoken enough to like make a go at this YouTube thing. I just like talking about it and maybe find something someone else isn't talking about and follow it, something like that. But yeah, I have no major intentions for YouTube in any way. If this helps someone, great. Definitely not financial advice. But I hope you enjoyed if you watched, and I'll put out something maybe sometime soon, week, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whenever it's something interesting to talk about. Thanks for watching.